Hi everyone, I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C. I'm here to answer your immigration questions live, right? I'm streaming on both Facebook and on TikTok, so feel free to like us, follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, and you'll be notified every single time I go live. If you know of other people that might have immigration questions that they want to just run by an attorney, this is a great opportunity to do that, right? So this is a great opportunity to just ask general immigration questions. We help clients no matter where they are located in the US. So you can contact us for immigration questions, immigration concerns, no matter where in the US you are located. Okay. So if you have friends anywhere, they could be located outside the country, they could be located anywhere in the US. We can help them with US immigration questions, and I should be able to answer their US immigration questions here on the live. So go ahead if you haven't already done so. If you have friends that have immigration questions, share this with them. I'll be on for the next few minutes answering questions. Go ahead and share this with them. Make sure if you don't already like us or follow us on TikTok, Facebook, please go ahead and do that as well. So you will be notified every single time I go live, and we can answer your immigration questions. If you would like a consultation, right? I'm going to go through some questions here, but of course, all of that information is general. But if you would like a consultation with me, I only practice U.S. immigration law. I'm based near Washington, D.C., but my clients are anywhere. So we're doing our consultations through Zoom or through phone. And again, some people do like to come in person, and we're accommodating that as well in the office every single day, meeting with clients and working on all types of immigration cases. Okay, feel free to reach out to me. My name again is Pratibha Agarwal, and you can reach me for a consultation 703-348-1663. If you haven't shared this with your friends that might have immigration questions, this is a good time to go ahead and do that before I kind of pop on into our question of the day. So we always start off with the question of the day. This is just giving you general immigration information. And then while I'm talking, feel free to put your questions in. I'll just go through them in order. We have people streaming from different platforms, so you might not see their questions, but I'll read it out loud and you'll be able to know what I'm discussing. But this is a great opportunity for you to ask yours or learn about immigration law, to learn about green cards in general, because there are many ways to qualify for a green card, and it's hard for people to just know this out of thin air, right? Or if you don't have a lot of people that have gone through the process, it's hard to know what you might be eligible for. And this is a great opportunity to learn about that. So let me get on with my question of the day. It is, what kind of financial support, or what is the financial support requirement for a family-based green card application? All right, I'll say that again if you're just joining. What is the financial support requirement if you are applying for a family-based green card, right? So the normal requirement will change based on how large your household is. So if you have a straightforward adjustment of status application, or if you're applying from abroad, so that means that the person that you're sponsoring, if you're a US citizen or a green card holder, you're sponsoring someone from abroad, or you're sponsoring someone that's already in the US, you have to meet a financial requirement for most straightforward green card applications. Okay, so most standard green card applications. So that could be based on marriage. You could be sponsoring children, spouse, siblings. You could be sponsoring your parents. All right, so there's a whole bunch of people you can sponsor, and we've talked about who can sponsor whom in previous lives. So if you want to go back and watch that, I would recommend going ahead and watching that if you're unfamiliar with green cards and who can sponsor whom. Okay, so the financial support requirement is different based on your household size. So for example, let me go back. Generally, you have to earn 125% above the poverty line, for your household size. So it's going to change what you need to make. The income you need to earn, this is only for green cards, is going to change based on your household size. So for example, if it's just me living by myself and I'm sponsoring my husband, I only need to make, I think it's about $25,000, and it's approximately that. It changes, and you can find that information online. It's on the USCIS website. Okay, so I only need to make kind of in the low to mid 20s annually if I am only sponsoring one person and it's just me living in my home. I have no other dependents. All right, but let's say I am married and I have kids and we all live together in the same house and I'm sponsoring my sister. I need to make more because I now have 5 people relying on my income. All right, so this is all really nicely outlined in the USCIS website. So you can check that out and see what the requirements are. And the requirements are the same no matter if the person you are sponsoring is outside the US or inside the US. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to some of you that might be confused about what the income requirements are for sponsoring a green card. There is one type of green card application that is kind of family-based, right? It's considered a humanitarian option that does not require any financial support requirement. That does not have any financial support requirement. Okay, this is called a VAWA application. It's a VAWA self-petition. So it is for people that are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders, right? And they're victims of abuse. It could be psychological, emotional abuse. It could be verbal abuse, and sometimes it's physical abuse. All right. This type of application does not require any kind of showing of financial eligibility, meaning you don't need to have a sponsor to say that they're financially going to support you for this kind of application. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind if you're nervous that if you're in a marriage and it's abusive and you haven't applied for your green card because your spouse won't qualify or because they're refusing to sponsor you, you can apply on your own. If your marriage is problematic, if there are problems in the marriage, you might be able to apply on your own. I would say just talk to a lawyer, have a consultation with us to see if you would qualify. And you would not need a financial, you wouldn't need to show that you make a certain amount or that someone needs to sponsor you. So this kind of application does not require that. Okay, so give us a call if we can help you with a consultation on any kind of green card application, whether your spouse is willing or not willing to sponsor you. We can talk to you through the process and we might be able to help you do it on your own, and you might not require financial support or showing of financial support at all. All right, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663 if you'd like to have a consultation with our firm and we can see how you qualify. Hi, Mamadou. Mamadou says, thank you for your assistance. We appreciate you. Thank you for your nice words, Mamadou. I am glad. If you have questions, feel free to put them on here. I'm happy to answer them. All right, we have a few questions on here. So Jerry says, I have a prima facie VAWA and biometrics. How long does it take to get a work permit? Great. So Jerry has a VAWA application pending as a victim of abuse. He might be married to a U.S. citizen, or maybe he might be the parent of a U.S. citizen. Or maybe he's married to a green card holder, right? And this kind of application is for people who are victims of abuse. And the first thing that happens really after your case gets received by the government is you get what's called a prima facie determination. A prima facie determination is a quick look through your application to see if you check off all the boxes of what's required. All right, so that's what prima facie is, and it's important because it protects you right away. It protects you right away. It protects you from removal as soon as the government has your application, right? So then we get this determination saying you check off all the boxes for VAWA. We're going to spend some more time looking at your application, but you're protected from removal at this point. So many people in abusive relationships are being threatened with deportation. So this prima facie determination protects you from being removed. So that's why it's very important. So Jerry already has this. So we think that comes about 2 to 3 months after we submit our application, and biometrics happens about 5 months after we submit our application. So Jerry, to answer your question, the next step is getting work authorization, right? So we think that happens usually between 6 and 8 months after you've submitted your application, after it's been received. Okay. All right, great. Mamadou says, my question is, can I apply for a green card? I'm going to put this on here for you folks on Facebook so you can see. So Mamadou says, my question is, can I apply for a green card based on my job as a teacher and a medical interpreter? Okay, again, for those of you on TikTok, is can I apply for a green card based on my job as a teacher and a medical interpreter? So you might be able to apply for your job. So essentially an organization has to sponsor you, right? An organization has to sponsor you for a green card, and it depends on whether you qualify here, depends on how much you've been out of status, how much time you've spent out of status, or if you are currently in status too, right? So there might be a way for you to be, even if you're out of status, perhaps you can process that part outside of the country. But essentially the first step is that the organization should be willing to sponsor you. Okay, it's just that the organization should be willing to sponsor you for a green card. So that's something you should check. The cost can be kind of hefty, and it's multi-steps. The process, number one, has to show that there are no U.S. workers available for the job. So we'd have to go through this whole recruitment process, and that's pretty involved and has very distinct requirements. So if you want to call us, we can help you understand that process so you can explain it to your employer. Or if you want your employer to call us directly, we'd be happy to talk with them as well. If you'd like a consultation, the phone number for us is 703-348-1663. But yes, any occupation essentially can be sponsored by usually any occupation can get sponsored, but every occupation and some of these processes will require us showing that there are no U.S. workers available for the job. Okay, and that's very regulated. So you want to really understand that if you're going to do that, if you're going to jump into that process. Mamadou says, thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for watching and joining and giving us your question. I think it really helps everyone learn a little bit more about the immigration process. Okay. Mansama says, I submitted my I-130 in May, but since then I haven't heard anything from the USCIS. So an I-130 is a green card application where Mansa is sponsoring someone else, right? So essentially an I-130 shows a couple of things. An I-130 shows that you are, you have what status you have. So you could either be a green card holder or you could be a U.S. citizen, right? So the I-130 shows that you have whatever status you have, usually green card holder or U.S. citizen, and that you can sponsor that person that you're trying to sponsor. So it could be a spouse, it could be your parent. So it just shows that relationship also between the person that you're trying to sponsor. All right, so that's what she has submitted. Usually, if the person is in the U.S., you can also submit what's called adjustment of status application. Not everyone can submit this. Some U.S. citizens that are sponsoring can usually submit it if it's their spouse or their parents or their minor children. Okay. Either way, the I-130 has been pending since May. I think it takes about 9 months to get an approval on this. If you haven't submitted any other applications, I think it's taking about 9, maybe even 12 months to get an approval. So there's really nothing in addition for you to do at this point. All right, give us a call if we can help you answer some questions, right? If we can help you answer some questions about your green card process. We handle family-based applications. We handle employment-based applications like Mamadou has asked about earlier. We also work on humanitarian cases, as I mentioned as well. All right, you can call us at 703-348-1663. And my name, again, is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I've been practicing as an attorney for 13 years. I'm located outside of Washington, D.C. My clients are all throughout the United States. All right. Okay, so we have a question here from Nikki. Nikki, I'm going to put this up here. I'm on Facebook streaming. So some of you, if you want to join me on Facebook, you can see some of the questions I'm putting on the actual stream. Okay, so Nikki says, can anyone get the green card or citizenship if they're divorced with an American citizen? Okay, again, for the TikTok viewers, the question is, can anyone get a green card or citizenship if they're divorced from an American citizen? Okay, so, well, marriage-based applications are I'm going to answer this, but marriage-based applications are you have to be married, obviously, to get a marriage-based green card. But some people that are divorced from a US citizen can also qualify to apply for a green card, right? So it depends on the nature of your relationship with your spouse. So number one, is your divorce within 2 years or less from the time that we can submit an application. So if your divorce is within 2 years of the time that we submit the application, then you might be able to qualify for a VAWA self-petition, which is really for people that have had some kind of abuse, some kind of problems in their marriage. So mostly people that apply for a VAWA will have suffered a lot of emotional abuse, name calling from the spouse, blaming from the spouse. So many times in a divorce type of scenario, there have been lots of problems in the marriage, and many times there's also things that qualify as abuse, sometimes physical abuse, but many times no physical abuse and more emotional abuse, right? Holding the green card over your head, blaming you for things, putting you down for where you're from, your culture, things of that nature can amount to emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse. So if we can talk to you about that process, please give us a call. It's very important if your divorce is within 2 years of your application. It's very important because you would qualify for a work permit, which you would get in about 6 to 8 months. So this is really important for people who don't have any status or who entered illegally. So you'd qualify for a work permit in about 6 to 8 months and a green card on your own, totally without your spouse. They wouldn't know even unless you told them that you applied. You would get a green card usually in about 2 to 2.5 years, of course, if you qualify. So if you want to call us, I'd be happy to chat with you about that, walk you through that process. We do these types of applications very often. We're able to help people receive green cards and benefits pretty often. All right, give us a call if we can help you, 703-348-1663. All right, great. Hi, Abe. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I think those are the questions for today. Madam Shia says hi. She says, I'm trying to get a hold of you. How are you? So happy to see you. You guys are so sweet. Nice to see you too. Thank you for joining. If you want to call our office, we're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and if you call, anytime you call, you can even call now. You can leave a message. Right now it is 6:45 p.m. Eastern time, but you can leave a message and we will get back to you. We return all of our missed calls. All right, so we return every single one of our missed calls. Okay, call us if we can help you. Again, 703-348-1663. Jerry says, thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you. Very kind. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching and joining me and giving me these important questions and trusting my response. Okay. Savio says, what is the time for a U visa based application for a green card? It can be a very long time. So U visas have multi-steps in the process. So number one, you have to get police certification that you cooperated with the police for your crime, right? So that can take a few months. Then after that, we have to submit the U visa application. And you can get deferred action in a couple of years, which means that you won't be removed. But you have to remember there's a cap on U visas. Only a certain amount are issued every year. So there's only 10,000 U visas available per year. So even if you qualify and you've received what's called deferred action, where you're not going to be removed, where you can just continue getting a work permit, to get the actual U visa can take several years because there's only 10,000 available, and you are basically put in a waiting line once you receive what's called deferred action. Okay, once you have the U visa, you have to be on it for 3 years before you can apply for a green card, and then after that, citizenship. All right, so it can be a pretty long process. But it's worth it because it gets you in status. It's totally worth it because it gets you in status. All right. Hi, Jay. Nice to see you. Well, thank you, guys. You're amazing. I love your questions, and I love talking about immigration law. I myself, if you don't know, I'm also an immigrant. So my family immigrated through normal family-based immigration process, through a very standard family-based immigration process. When I was 8 years old, I grew up in Connecticut, and then I came to DC for college, and I stayed in DC, went to law school, and started this firm later. I worked at a larger firm, and then I started this firm several years ago, about 5 years ago. All right, so I'm happy to help you with your immigration questions. I'll be on again. If you don't already like our page or follow us, make sure you do that. I'll be on again and share this with others that might have immigration questions, because it's confusing. We all know that it's really confusing, and it's very helpful to have some kind of clarity, a little bit of clarity on these types of cases. If you want to call us to talk confidentially about your case, we're doing consultations by Zoom, by phone, and in person, and you can reach us, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Okay, you can reach me at 703-348-1663. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye, guys.